This is Performance Theory with Mike Clark.
Hey everyone, we are back. We are tackling part 2 of our social media course. And today we are going to be talking about advertising your brand. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. First and foremost, probably the easiest and definitely the most inexpensive is through organic growth. That's through all those posts that you make on social media, through your Instagram, Facebook. The biggest downfall to this is you do need to have more and more people looking at your Instagram or your Facebook. So your chance of going viral with a post is very slim, getting your message out to a broad spectrum. Depending on the algorithms of the content that you're using and the platform that you're using, it can be hard to do. The second way is through influencers. Now, these influencers do have that big client base and they use their fan base and they help you grow your brand. Now, depending on the level, it's going to require a varying investment from you to get these Instagram followers or these influencers to push your product. That can be a downfall. If you're looking for somebody with a very, very big following, you can expect to pay more for it. And depending on the industry as well. The next one that I use a lot would be Facebook ads. Now, the nice thing about the Facebook ads is I think they are currently the best return on investment on your money. You can target your audience specifically. And if any of you guys have used these Facebook ads before, you know how specific you can get. So you can pick your demographic. You can even pick your region down to a mile. You can pick male, female, both, whatever you want. You can specifically target that person. You are also in charge of your marketing costs, so you don't get any surprises. So currently I am running an ad and it's going $10 a day. It's just to advertise one half of my company, some specific services that we are doing. It's $10 a day. I've got $10 a day going towards the male side, $10 a day going towards the female side. Interesting though, I've got the same ad with different images on both campaigns because men respond better to a certain types of images. Women respond better to certain types of images. And by doing this, I found that it gets a little bit more specific in the ad, but I get a better return on investment. I get better click-throughs. It's probably, like I said, probably the best thing that you can do right now to get your message out. Next one that has been around for a while is Google Adwords. So what these are is these are paid search results. They focus on the keywords. Now there is a larger audience obviously with Google because you are taking a look at any time basically, let's say if you're talking about fitness, if you wanted to buy the Google AdWord for fitness, anytime the word fitness went into Google, an ad of yours could pop up. Now originally these ads are pretty cheap, but now if you're going with some major keywords, they're going to be a lot more expensive. So the bigger the keyword, the more popular the keyword, you can expect to pay, anywhere from 5 cents a click all the way up to, $10, $15 a click, depending on what you're specifically looking for. So with that, there is a very large cost, and your return on investment on Google AdWords is very dependent on those right keywords. And as I said, with the right keywords, it is going to cost you a lot more. So this is one that I have shied away from. I've talked to other people that have used it, and they didn't have the best return on investment, and there are other places that you can spend your money. And if we take a look, going back years and years and years ago, before everybody was staring down at their phones, what did everybody do? Well, they invested in billboards. Now, the good thing about billboards is it gets your message out. It's big and bright. The bad news is nobody looks at them anymore. And what I mean by that is if you think about riding in a car right now, if you're the passenger, are you looking at the billboards or are you looking down at your phone? More than likely, you are looking down at your phone. You're going to miss 99% of those billboards that are going by. The other thing is it's really hard to determine your return on investment. I personally used billboards for about 5 or 6 years out at the front of our business. It was costing us only about $200 a month, which is very low cost for a billboard. However, I couldn't guarantee if that was actually generating any traffic at all. It's very hard when people are driving by. Even QR codes don't really work because if they're driving and they see it, they don't have time to pull out their phone. Or even if they are writing in passenger, it's still hard to get a picture. It's hard to write down a phone number, anything. So I would typically shy away from this. The other big thing is the pricing varies depending on the company. There's a lot of other things that you have to consider. There are permits that you need to get as well. So for my best bang for your buck, I would still stick Facebook ads. Influencers, once again, is going to be a pretty good thing. And hopefully you can get some organic growth. You've decided to take that next step and you are starting to design your brand. Choosing the right colors for your brand or your post is very important. Colors can convey emotions. So let's take a quick rundown through some of the colors and what they mean. So blue, we're looking at tranquil, security, integrity, peace, loyal, trust, intelligence. Some of the bad parts about blue is it's the most common branding color. And if you don't believe me, open up your cell phone, take a look at most of the apps on your phone. The high majority of them are in blue, and it also produces some coldness, fear. It is a more masculine color as well. When we take a look at a color such as green, it's freshness, environment, it's new, money, fertility, healing, earth. On the downside, it also can convey envy, jealousy, and guilt. Some of the other colors out there, some of the more popular colors are yellows. So you're looking at bright, sunny, energetic, warm, happy, perky, joy, intellectual, but it can also mean irresponsible and unstable. You're looking at red, you're looking love, passion, energy, power, heat, strength, desire. But on the flip side, you've got anger, danger, warning. And then once again, you take a look at things such as white, it's goodness, innocence, purity, fresh, easy, but it can also convey isolation, pristine, and emptiness. So when you're choosing to design that brand, I definitely want you to take a look, and there's tons of research on the internet. Look at the words that are associated with the colors that you're choosing for your brand. Because these words associations with colors can mean a lot more than you think. What companies can you name with some iconic brand colors? Think of restaurants. Think of fast food restaurants. We're going to use McDonald's for an example. What are their two main colors? That's right, red and yellow. What are Wendy's two main colors? Red and yellow. In-N-Out Burger uses it as well. And it creates a feeling of hunger. You can also think of mustard and ketchup with that. So if you want to make sure that you are conveying your brand correctly, take a look at what the interaction of the colors mean. I mean, if you're taking a look at building trust, you want to look at blues, whites, light grays, greens. You want to look at high quality. You might want to go black, dark gray, light gray, blues, speed. You might want to go and take a look at reds, cheapness. And this is where the fast food comes in. You want to look at an array of yellows, whites, reds, and even brown at some points. Now, if I can backtrack for just a minute, one of the colors I actually forgot, which is very important, and you don't see a lot of logos out there with it, is the color purple. So the color purple displays royalty, nobility, spirituality, but it also represents luxury, ambition, and wealth. Now, one of the problems with this is when you do use this color, it does give more of an essence that you are an expensive brand. Now, that is good if you are a luxury brand and you are trying to convey that. However, if you are looking for something that you can appeal to the mass market and you are more cost efficient, or cost savvy for that customer, purple might not be the exact best color for you, as it does display the fact that your product is a little bit more expensive, and therefore they might not even take a look at your product because they might already think it's out of their league. You've now got your brand colors built. You've got probably your logo already. So now we got to take a look out of your posts, of your content that you're producing. Where does the logo appear? Is it in the top, the bottom, the left, the right, the center? Does it impede the visual story that you are trying to tell? Make sure you take a look at that. Also, the size of the logo, does it distract from your message? A lot of times in amateur posts, I've seen that they pump up their logo so much, it's really hard to see what message they're trying to convey. In a lot of the stuff that we do, the logo is very small, it's in the corner, and then I usually have it faded into the background. So it's not even a straight logo. It's very transparent. That's one of the things that you got to take a look at, because you do not want to distract from your message. Now, you got to also take a look at portrait versus landscape. Now, what I mean by that is, how is the page oriented, or how is your ad oriented? Is it going to be put on Facebook? Is it Instagram? So what platform is it going to be displayed on? And how does each benefit or distract from the overall effectiveness? Now, if you take a look at something like if we take a look at something like Instagram posts are a square format. Now, you can drop a movie into there, but it makes it very small. Now, you look at something like the Instagram stories, it's a completely different format. It's a lot taller. You can get a lot more information on that. And the square posts, when we share to the story, still remain about the same size. So you're not getting as much information out there as you possibly can. So in that case, you may want to do 2 different drops for whatever you're advertising or whatever you're promoting on Instagram. And same thing, Facebook, now who owns Instagram, has the same thing. Their posts, you can do them in a couple different formats, and they also have stories now. But make sure that you are fitting the format of what you're posting into something that works visually the best with that platform. The key here is to approach each platform as its own. The format and content of your message will have to vary between the different social media platforms, even when you're promoting the same message. Some platforms are more geared towards video, some text, some hyperlink, some combination. So how and where is your content going to display? Take that into consideration. Once again, is it landscape, portrait, square? Is it going to be viewed on a desktop, or is it going to be viewed on a mobile device? And should you link your social media accounts? Well, that really depends on the platform as well. Sometimes when you do link the social media accounts and you do a general post to, let's say if I post to Instagram, it automatically posts to Facebook. Sometimes the 2 formats that you're posting in don't work well with each other. And what I mean is, if I post a video to Instagram, it doesn't necessarily translate as well when it posts on Facebook. For instance, the video on Facebook is usually a lot lower quality, so it's a little bit harder to see the images. The text, if there's any text in the video, it's not as crisp. So in that case, I would prevent myself from posting, doing kind of like a general post and trying to get everything out, and kind of like it's a shotgun approach and shooting everything out at the exact same time on the same platforms. But individually posting them. If I individually post that thing on Facebook, it's going to be a lot crisper, clearer. I can change the imaging on it, so I can boost it up to high definition if I want. And then, because when you post a video on Instagram, it's usually typically a little bit smaller, I can maybe zoom in on something that I particularly wanted to look at and cut out the edges, thereby creating it to be a little bit more Instagram friendly. Your message can be ineffectively promoted due to many of the social media platforms having those different audiences and different displays. So once again, make sure that you are guiding this towards your audience. if I'm trying to promote something and I want to do something on LinkedIn, well, you got to take a look at who is your client base on LinkedIn. Typically, it's going to be more of the business owners. It's going to be less employees. So you're going to want, these are the people that are going to be maybe traveling a lot more. So if I'm doing something for fitness, I might want to do it, exercises you can do on the plane, or stretches you can do on the plane, or stretches you can do in your hotel when you're traveling, or exercise you can do in your hotel when you're traveling, as opposed to if I'm sticking stuff out on my Instagram or Facebook where I go, these are exercises you can do in the gym or at home. So things are going to change because you are targeting different markets. Now, for producing these, there are so many different ways you guys can produce the actual content. My two favorite ways, I actually use my phone, and I have all Mac stuff. So I use iMovie a lot when I'm creating the movies. However, I use a desktop version, but you can also create it on your phone. And I used to, for some of my bigger projects, I use a program called CorelDRAW, which does take a little bit more knowledge to use. But one of my favorite ones as of late is just to use the app Canva. There's a couple different versions of it. You can get a paid version, or you can use it, the free version. You can use it on desktop, or you can use it on your phone. And it has a bunch of different formats that you can use right in the apps. There's templates there. You can use some of their pre-made templates, make some of your own. It's awesome. I've really love it for doing quick and fast stuff just right on the fly on my phone. I can create an ad within minutes instead of needing to be at the office and jumping on my computer. Now, if you're not that graphic savvy, you may need to dish this out to somebody else. And in that, your costs are going to go up a little bit. But I would really encourage you guys to play around with Canva, see what works, see what doesn't. Take a look at what other people are doing as well. And not just other people that you want to emulate. So once again, when we're doing this, we want to pay attention to who is my target market, right? If I'm going to be target marketing middle-aged men, I want to make sure that I'm producing content and producing pictures that's going to appeal to that middle-aged man who wants to work out. Or if I'm doing it for younger teens, I want to make sure that the content that we're producing is going to be more appealing to younger teens. And that might mean bringing different people into the videos. That might mean different context. It might mean different color schemes. As we take a look back at this entire course, the key point is to find your deep why, capture it, and brand it. Then share and connect it with the right people in the right place at the right time, and you're going to do better than 99% of those people on social media. And that wraps up another episode. Thank you so much for listening. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to Performance Theory with Mike Clark so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, don't forget to rate and review us. We're available for free at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and everywhere else that you get your streaming audio. You can also listen at MikeClarkLife.com. Check the show notes for more information about what you heard here today and links to all of our guests. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at MikeClarkLife. You can also reach out to me on email at mike@purewellnessstudio.com. We'll see you next time for more Performance Theory.